Part 2 assembly. Subframe just came out of powder. Alex is eating watermelon. A little watermelon action. Dude, you have different food like every 10 seconds. I never keep up with you.
I was eating a Snickers a few minutes ago.
Oh my god. Wirings ran. This bike's cool because the battery box sits right up here. Don't have to have a battery box hanging off the back. Yeah, so we're gonna get that on and go from there. This thing is starting to look sick. Got our subframe installed, everything lined up really good. You can see we have our shroud brackets. These go up behind the tank. Just putting them on right now because they do bolt on with the subframe mount. So we have a air box that goes on this bike. That's how this is gonna mount up in the front. Got a mount for our voltage regulator right up here on the side. And like I was saying in the last video, coolest thing about this bike is how the battery box is right there. So we don't have all the ugly wiring going to the back. It's super clean. So we got all the wiring ran and installed. We used our in-house service manual. Got another CRF right there. It's always nice staring at how they put it together. Everything from where they put the zip tie to hold the wires to how they ran the wires. Super handy. So we got the rear shock on. We're gonna move on to getting the rear end on, front end, and go from there. But first, we're gonna get the airbox on. Got the airbox chilling. Nice piece that Drew put together. I'm actually not liking the finish on it. I'm gonna Scotch-Brite this up, clean it up before we install it. Aluminum got a little oxidized, just chilling around the shop. He's getting the regulator mounted up right now. Sick. Got this on slotted holes so you can move it around. Get your spacing set. We're gonna put a zip tie here, and this is gonna get zip tied up like that. This little guy is gonna get cut off. That went to the original airbox. We're not using that anymore. All the wiring from here on is ran just like factory. Our guys, intake sensors hooked up. Got the sensor installed, 2 new bolts. We've also put a little bit of sealer on the O-ring. That's tightened. This is gonna sit just like this. See our electrical mount from back here. We've got a couple mounts that also help this on the front that go around the frame. Got some slots so you can move the airbox up or down. It is adjustable. Yeah, so Alex is working on that, and we're gonna get the air filter in. There is gonna be another bracket that's gonna come from here to here and hold the intake up. There it is, guys. Filter's on, outerwear's on. Got this ran right there. Super clean setup. Got some good protection on that air filter. All right, back to the video. Friday morning. We're gonna continue on with this awesome build here. So I already got the hub installed. I had to drill the holes out and get the powder coat cleaned up. I don't like it to be too tight on the studs. Got that all perfect. Got some wheel spacers here. You're what, lubing up your shaft over there?
Lubing up the shaft. Tip's clean.
Tip's clean. Got the top ramen. He's got his top ramen going. You can see that right there.
Gotta have the ramen. It's breakfast champions.
Yeah. Cool. I think we're all a little groggy today. Nothing but thunder and lightning last night in the old Tucson. Thought my house was gonna flood.
The monsoon.
Dude, everyone said that it didn't rain here.
So we get a couple years of no rain, and then all of a sudden
2 wheel spacers on each side. Cool, so we're gonna get that in. Just gonna set it right here. Okay, so we're not gonna work harder than we have to. We're gonna lower the jack down. Pump her up, unhook the latches, and I feel like I'm half asleep today. Well, that's what happens when you stay up half the night working on a semi-truck. Because I actually was watching videos all night on it too. Here, hold on a sec. Yep, this is the easiest way. Try not to pick the tire up, but just bring the bike to the tire. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right there. Should be able to send that through ever so gently. Make sure your tip's clean.
That's a lot of grease.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of grease. Back it up for a sec. Okay, slide it in. Cool, front tire went on pretty easy. Onto the ass end. Little RPM axle action. Dominator. Favorite axle. Front tires on. Went a little excessive on the grease, but I got the edge of the axle flush with the head sticking out on the Hondas. Got the 2-inch spacer slid over. You can see how that's set up. This is a floating front end, so you're not actually clamping your forks together. So we're gonna reuse the Honda handlebar mounts, which this is the way we designed our clamps, was to reuse the OEM mounts on this bike. So I'm gonna take these off, get the handlebars installed. So that spacer will slide right on against the Sprocket hub. He's still learning about axles. You get that, right, Alex?
Yep. Getting there.
Yep. Dude, it is too quiet. Drew's off buying trucks. John's sleeping. RJ's at the other shop.
Working on the semi-truck.
Getting the stupid semi-truck running. He woke up with a bug up his ass wanting to get that thing going today.
You have to drive it down the road.
Just wants to drive a semi-truck, I guess. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's quite entertaining. We had the air brakes locked up and we were dragging the damn thing across the parking lot, but you get that. You can leave that. Yeah, just throw grease on the flats. Dude, I know why I'm half asleep right now. I didn't get my Dunkin' coffee yet.
You didn't stop me. You were here early this morning.
Yeah. See, if I'm driving, I don't stop because I can't handle talking in the morning. Let the wife do it though, but she wasn't driving today, so you get that. Nothing worse than saying your order and they repeat back fucking blueberries and
you get blueberries in your coffee?
ask for coconut caramel, so it tastes like Girl Scout cookie, and guy gives me blueberry coffee. I will never forget it. I'm sure YouTube land wants to hear about my coffee situations, but it's a struggle every single day. There you go.
Learning.
You got this. Look at that. It's beautiful. Cool. Very cool. I believe he's getting a sprocket guard, billet sprocket guard, billet brake disc, caliper mountain guard, all that fancy stuff. Getting our anti-fade lock nut. Let's continue on. Put a little grease on the anti-fade. Here's a close-up shot. You guys don't get to see it like this very often. So we've got our brake disc guard, which also doubles as the brake stay for the caliper. So that's gonna hold the caliper right here. Got a replaceable guard. 3 bolts in the back, pops it right off. So any of this stuff gets worn out, it's completely replaceable. So Alex is gonna slide on our anti-fade lock nut. There it is. See how that's covering the disc right there? All right, so that snap ring right behind me over there. All right, so slide that snap ring on. And I would just get your hand and just use both your thumbs and walk that thing over that edge. It goes a little higher than you think it would. Cool, then just turn that nut backwards and that'll tighten the axle on. More or less just draws it this way. Beautiful. So you guys can see on our nut, we have the hole that's capped off on this side. Some other ones on the market, I've always had dirt get stuck in the threads and I couldn't stand it, so basically had it set like that. Got the logo on there. This comes with a wrench. So this hooks onto a normal ratchet, goes onto our nut, and you can tighten it. I'm just not a big fan of the stick tightening device. I don't know what you want to call that. It's basically just a little piece of rod that pops in there. Problem with doing that when you're trying to actually torque this, and you're not going to go too crazy on the torque, just snug, but you're going to get your holes egged out on your nut. So that's why I went back to this design. All right, guys, time to install the sprocket guard. So Alex already has the bolts slid through the backside. I had him out a washer on each of these just to kick it out a little bit more from the sprocket. I want to make sure there's enough clearance. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this on while he holds the bolts. Beautiful. So just add a washer on each of those plus the nut. Cool. The nylon nuts go on each of them. So let's rotate it completely across now to this one. You want to tell me what we're doing right now?
Putting the wheels on.
Putting the wheels on. All
Getting
right.
this thing on the ground.
Getting her on the ground. Look at that. Fancy, fancy. Pick up the tools while you're getting that on. Then you can lower the lift down. Yeah, I'm digging the gold on gold. I like it. Yeah. There's like a zinc plating or an anodizing on those hubs. Got John back here. Beep, 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 beep. Making more parts. Dude, he does the G-code out of his head. Like to see anybody do that. You gonna lower her down?
Yep.
So have a lot. Yeah. You know the drill. Harbor Freight lift likes to lower by itself.
Yep. Roll bike.
Badass, dude. Badass.
All right, one down, one to go.
Yep. Actually, many more to go. Never ends, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so this one over here is getting the same color scheme. That's a 250, this is a 450, so excited to have these sitting side by side. All right, guys, important step, cutting down your chain. So we like to actually rotate it forward, which picks up the swing arm. So rotate it back, I want to show how it drops the frame down. So if you guys watch right here, go back up. See how the frame goes up and down? Just by adjusting your carrier. So again, we're gonna start all the way forward, and then when you're tightening this, you're just gonna rotate it down and back. So he's gonna get this in the loosest position. He's gonna put the chain through, we're gonna mark it, we're gonna cut the chain down. Oh, bitch mittens already?
The hell, for a fucking chain? All day.
All day?
All day with chains.
This one's not too bad. You know Honda doesn't like grease and stuff.
Seriously, brand new bike too.
Got the little Christmas present here. Yoshimura exhaust came in. It's kind of cool the way the header is designed on these with the oval outlet. I think Honda just wanted to challenge all the exhaust manufacturers. Cool, came with a wash plug. Cool. Got our headlight installed, fender installed, cooling system, radiators, got the guards on for now. We're gonna put a hose on the vent, go down to the ground. Gonna get the tank on and the shrouds, and that'll pretty much be the end of the video. This thing is coming right together. In the next video, we're gonna work on getting the plastic and the rest of it all hooked up. Yeah, you guys can see we already got the brake on, got the line ran. Headlight looks sick, powder coated. Looks good. Just want to show you guys the routing for the vent hose. We're just going around and down inside of the swing arm right here. He's going to cut that about an inch from the bottom of the linkage. There you go. Now the reason we run that to the ground, that's just basically an overflow. So you're only going to really have oil come out of that when you're at like full rev limiter or super high RPM. I don't like having that stuff get sucked back into the motor. It's not good for it. It makes it run funny. So we just go right to the ground. Now, if this was a street model, it is gonna get routed back. There's gonna be all the emissions crap on there and all the fun stuff that you don't want on your bike, because basically makes it run bad. So next step, got these little cute little buffer pads, little rubber pads that go on the frame. So they just kind of snap on like that. Alex is gonna grab some zippy ties and we're gonna put a zip tie around this, go through that hole. That's gonna be on each side. This is for the gas tank. I like the way Honda did this. Clean setup. Also got the side ones here that go on the frame. So we actually have a bike here, so we're gonna go check and see what the exact location was of this. We're gonna do that on each side. That's gonna keep the gas tank sitting centered, stop the vibration, keep it where we want it. Yeah, there's just a little hole underneath that, just loop it. Next time we're gonna do that before we put these on, but we were honestly excited to get the subframe on, so moved probably a little bit faster than we should have. Now it's just a little bit tighter.
When we measured the other bike, these are 7.5 inches at the zip tie.
Okay. Awesome. 7.5 inches basically from the weld you were saying?
Yeah, from the weld.
Awesome. Cool. Well, they'll be back in the correct spot. It's cool how Honda put a little mark so we can actually line the clamps back up the way they were. Try not to be too OCD, but we do like to be that way. All right, guys, that's it for today. Alex is getting the headlight wired up. Ran out of time today with the videoing, so in the next video, we're gonna get the rest of this thing finished up, get the Yoshi exhaust on. We're gonna show you about cutting the mid pipe, getting everything squared away. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.